Joining us now is Ellis Hennigan, Trump America columnist with Global Metro Papers, and Wendy Patrick, Republican strategist and attorney. Ellis, what's your reaction to this?
I mean, why now, right? I mean, yes, the guy's a total lowlife. Apparently, even he seems to agree that he's a total lowlife. But what's different now? He's been this way for years, as you point out, and he got all the support from the full Republican establishment when he ran for re-election. The president, the heads of both houses of Congress, the two senators in Iowa, all supporting this guy, knowing everything that we know today. What's different, and how, frankly, David, are they so different from he is? We could point to some other language, couldn't we?
Well, and I think we will, but Wendy, first, why now? Answer that question in your estimation. How come this is happening now to Congressman King?
Well, one of the reasons is we just have the publication of the offensive remarks. You know, words are weapons. They are loaded. They are emotionally distraught for so many different people having to hear this, including the members of the House and the members of Congress. The problem with saying, well, why don't we go after everyone that's used that language, is that they may have used it years ago, not as recently as King. And you also have to understand, he is saying, oh, I was misinterpreted. But what do? And we do this in the law all the time. We interpret what you said today by what you said yesterday. And King is a repeat offender, a recidivist, as we say. That's problematic for him, and it distinguishes him from many of his colleagues who may have made unfortunate comments back in the day, 20 years ago, but have not said anything recently. Their ideology has evolved. So that's what makes it different, and that's why you don't see people saying, yeah, but look at what so-and-so said 20 years ago. It's one of the reasons you also saw him reprimanded, even by Republicans.
I want to read you something from last year. This was a Republican talking about Democrats. Quote, they don't care about crime and want illegal immigrants, no matter how bad they may be, to pour into and infest our country. Infest our country. That came from Republican Donald Trump. So where were the Republicans on that?
The first recidivist, I think we can call him, right?
Well, recidivist maybe in other ways, but when you look at the kind of language at issue, specifically with King, we're seeing lots of examples that point to the same exact type of ideology. And you also see that over the years, you have the same kind of behavior. Now, why did they vote him in? I'll tell you what, if we'd been having this conversation before the election, they wouldn't have. What did they do now? They stripped him of his assignments. I don't know how he's going to work. They're already talking about 2020. He's going to pay for this very dearly. He already is. And he's not getting the benefit of the doubt because of the recidivism I've mentioned.
Wendy, let me give you another theory about this, if I might. I'll tell you why they did now, because they just got slammed in the midterms, and they've got a whole series of similar rhetoric from any number of Republicans. It's rhetoric that's worked for them with their base, right?
But isn't this
these kinds of code words, David, bring people out to the polls. They didn't work a couple of months ago, and so now they're backpedaling hard. That's what's happening.
I don't think that's as big of a voting block as we think. I think there's more of the issues, you know, the jobs, the low taxes. I mean, there's a lot more. You can't just say he's only appealing to white supremacists.
How is it then that the man who is now our president rode down the escalator in Trump Tower just about 3 years ago, talking about rapists and criminals who are coming across the border, talking about senators of the United States with their anti-Native American slurs? I mean, I could go on for the next 45 minutes quoting the president about horrible racially tinged things he said. Of course it plays to the base. He's not using it because it doesn't work.
I don't think that's true if you look at the kind of things that happen to Congress people that use it other than the president. When you look at the people, I mean, let's take King for an example.
Why does he get a pass?
I don't think he gets a pass. I think there's lots of distinguishing factors, and one of the things the president has always done is come back with, don't just listen to my rhetorical hyperbole, look what I do. Look at the people I hire, look at the people I surround myself with. Wow. He is more of a mixed bag than somebody like King that is just made...
He's also the president, and Ellis, doesn't that make the biggest difference of all? You're talking about the president of the United States versus a low-level congressman. It's easy to beat up a congressman who, strip him from his
Of course, he has a larger stage, he has a bigger megaphone, he has the Oval Office, he has many advantages that protect him. But don't lull ourselves into feeling so wonderful about denouncing this idiot from Iowa and make ourselves all feel good and feel like the problem is gone. The things that produce steam Steve King, Wendy, are the same things that are propelling many others in that party, including the President of the United States. Until we're willing to embrace that obvious fact, we're just kidding ourselves here.
Wendy, you get the last word.
We've got to remember that we have had this discussion, and we had it during the campaign, that in fact the president did say lots of horribly inappropriate things. I mean, remember the Access Hollywood tape. Remember some of the racist comments that he made. So we did have this debate, but there was more than just that. I expect this is the same debate the three of us, hopefully, will be having before 2020 comes.
Alice Hennigan, Wendy Patrick, terrific conversation. Thank you. And we will have that conversation before 2020. You can bet on it.